Did he beat her? Did he beat her up? Did he beat her up? That is a question that I want us to explore today. So recently, a judge granted a restraining order against DDG, which prevents him from speaking on Halle Bailey, and speaking on their son on his streaming and other things that that restraining order encompassed. However, we're all looking at it like, okay, what is going on here? There were some images attached to the public records. There was a broken tooth. I will show it here on screen. There was a broken tooth. There were some bruises on the body that were shown as receipts, evidence to show that she was indeed abused by DDG, or that's what she claims. Now, being that the court has granted this restraining order, the courts believe that something may have happened here. You know what I mean? Despite what others may think, or the court of public opinion, the actual court feels like something happened here. So nonetheless, let's jump into what the public is saying. Now, DDG friends are saying, what the hell? What the hell? He is not a abuser. He's not abusive. Why is he being painted this way? And others are saying, you know what, Halle? Good job. Do what you need to do to protect yourself and your child. While DDG mom is saying, hey, look, I've been quiet way too long if this is the crap that you guys are going to pull on my son, right? So we have a lot of voices in the conversation as it relates to Halle Bailey and DDG. Now, how do I feel about this whole thing? While everyone else is giving their opinion, let me drop mine too. I feel like as it relates to Halle Bailey and DDG, their young love, or what used to be young love, and things are going to happen. Misunderstandings are going to happen, and as misunderstandings occur, you're going to have to learn how to navigate that, especially because you have a child within the mix. Now, it's never acceptable for you to put your hands on another human being, whether it's small situation or big situation. So I have heard a couple allegations from DDG's friends that Halle Bailey too has placed her hands on DDG, and I think it's never right, or it's never okay for a man or a woman to put their hands on their significant others, or on anyone, a kid, anyone, because at the end of the day, you open up the door to a cycle of behavior that you may not be prepared for, right? So I just feel like if DDG did indeed put his hands on Halle Bailey, as minor as the situation may have seemed to him, it didn't seem so minor to her, right? And she felt so strongly enough about it that she needed to get a restraining order. So therefore, all we can do now is respect her wishes, respect her boundaries, and accept that maybe what we've done, even though we may have looked at it like not a big deal, was a big deal for her. So we have to now say, you know what, I have to curtail how I show up in this relationship. So I think that's just what DDG's focus should be. It shouldn't be making a big spectacle online like his friends and family are trying to do about the situation, because the more you make a spectacle about the situation, the more guilty you do look of the situation. So just leave it alone. And I think something that DDG struggled with this whole time, because he's a streamer, is keeping his personal life personal. Like, shh, keep your baby off the internet, keep these things off the internet, and and go about your life. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, good luck to Halle Bailey. I feel like hopefully she feels like she's in a much safer space, and I think with DDG, he just has to basically look within himself and understand that like, you control your reactions, and being a reactionary person can get you in trouble. And with that being said, even though you may feel like what you may have done wasn't that big of a deal because it was in the midst of something going on there, it is a big deal for the other person. So just kind of, tone it down a little bit. Tone it down a little bit. And I think that's all that is needed for their relationship. I don't think we need to make it into a big spectacle. Oh, DDG is an abuser. I don't think that's essentially what it is. In my mind, allegedly just had an argument that went a little bit too far. But how do you guys feel about it?